His name is Bella.
Let's go, 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 let's go. You know the frequency, yeah, you know the frequency. Come on, you know the frequency, yeah, you know the frequency.
I've been upgrading my frequency. I've been protecting my energy. I've been upgrading my frequency. No matter what, I protect my energy.
We off the grid.
Yes, you just tapped into the Frequency Live, where we're leading into vibrational experiences. I'm your host, B. Carter.
I'm Double D, Derek Demers.
It's Jasmine.
And we are the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio.
What's happening?
Not much. What's happening, guys?
Jasmine, I just want to know, you okay?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
All right, we're not gonna have no
Last week.
fighting over the air, okay?
Yeah.
Just telling you right now, no fighting over the air. I used to.
Oh, yeah.
That's our program director, Edmund Ray, coming in.
What up? What up?
No, I've been dealing with my migraines since I was 8 years old, and sometimes they get the better of me.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, sometimes they win.
All I can say is drink a lot of water.
I do.
I'm the only one with no water. So how was your weekend, guys?
It was great. It was relaxing.
Was it?
Yeah, I got a lot going on. So, like, this weekend was a nice little reboot. I got a lot of things in the works outside of this and my other
Nice.
You're making moves. You make that money moves.
Yes.
That's what y'all doing?
How was your weekend, bro?
Hey, mind your business.
Maybe I shouldn't have asked. I don't know.
Nah, I had a great weekend. Did a lot of things. I actually went to go take a tour of Fenway Park.
Did you really?
Yeah, like, I'm not a major baseball fan, but, I learned a lot about Fenway Park. What I did learn that Fenway Park is a very small baseball park.
I think it's the smallest in the nation, major leagues.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I realized there is no bad seat in Fenway Park. It looks so much bigger on TV.
Yeah, I've
but
done that before. It's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice experience. So you take the whole tour to give you the history of the park. There's a lot of things that I did not know about the Red Sox.
Yep.
It's like the seats that literally was the oldest seats in Major League Baseball that they will not replace because it's history.
Yeah.
And I found out that Fenway Park they'll never demolish Fenway Park because now it's protected federally.
You're right.
As a historic monument.
Yeah. I can't believe that I'm an hour or less from Fenway, and I've never taken that tour.
You never took in that
Yeah,
tour.
that's kind of embarrassing. I think
I've never
Like,
taken
It
a
is kind of
tour,
embarrassing.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I've watched a baseball game there.
Did you?
Yeah. My grandmother would never miss a day of work, so she'd always get in this raffle.
Yeah.
And most years she would win it because it was her and a handful of people that
Yeah.
never missed a day of work.
Yeah.
So one year she just was like, "Yeah, I don't want to go anymore,"
Mhm.
and we all went. And I mean, we were like, I think we were at the third base.
That's third baseline.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
we were like 6 seats
Yeah.
from, like, I could have hopped.
So
over
y'all
onto the-
close, so you
Yeah.
really see the players. Even
Yeah.
if you're a little bit high up in the stands, you're like, you could really see the players. So
yeah, no, we were very close.
yeah, so those times when they had Big Papi and Manny Ramirez and Pedro Martinez, and to be there to watch them play,
So-
like you feel like you're there.
Yeah. I've been to probably, if I had to guess, not a ton of them,
Yeah.
maybe a dozen games,
Uh-huh.
which I don't think that's a lot, at my age, right? A dozen games. My highlight was first row, third base line, like right where the bag is.
Yeah.
Pedro Martinez, complete game shutout.
Wow.
That was a
Wow.
fantastic game to
It's again the experience in itself. The experience in itself. At Fenway Park. Now I get it. I get it and I understand it. Because y'all, like, as a crowd, y'all just right there along with the players. And I'm like, I will come and see a game. And they even do concerts there.
Yep.
They
Oh,
do
yeah.
football games. They do hockey outside
Yes,
there.
yeah.
So to be there and you could be so close. Like, I want to see the game on the Green Monster.
Yep.
Like that feels like a
Yeah,
good
so I
time
want to do
too.
that. I want to get up there too and check that out.
Yeah.
Maybe this summer.
But what I've learned when I think they put the Green Monster, I think it was 2016, if I'm correct, and they didn't know how if anybody's gonna want to watch games there. So the first tickets that they sold was like $50.
Wow.
$50, but it ain't $50.
Oh, and now it's like
anymore.
probably the highest.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Where I work at New York Life.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll do like they'll buy tickets.
Yeah.
And then they'll tell us there's so many, however many you want.
Mm-hmm.
So they do that again this year. I'll buy us the. I'll buy
okay.
them.
Yeah.
Real
All right.
cheap.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
can
yeah.
all go.
We'll go as a
Yeah.
crew. Yeah. That'll be a good trip for us to do for the Frequency Live. I would enjoy that. We could go have dinner before and go drink with the people
Or you can
outside.
just eat there.
Yeah.
They got food there.
That's true.
They got food and beer.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't drink, but they got beer.
I went to like one game, right? And that's the only game I went to, the Red Sox. And what I noticed, I'm so observant because I like people watching wherever I go because I want to know my environment and what's going on. What I noticed, and I don't know if you guys noticed when you went, is that you see a lot of yellow jackets on those stairs. A lot. It's so much as noticeable selling hot dogs or whatever, popcorn, but they make sure that they get their money's worth.
Yeah.
And it ain't cheap.
No, it ain't cheap.
One hot dog's like $7. And
Yeah.
beers are like 18.
Yeah.
They're not cheap.
It's not cheap, but the tour was I enjoyed it. And I also went to I had a good day in Boston. I also went to the Contemporary Arts Museum.
Mm-hmm.
And that is an experience in itself.
Nice.
Too,
Nice.
I felt like, I don't know, for an example, I'm sitting there and I'm looking at a painting, right? And they had people there that were there to talk about whatever painting you was looking at. And this gentleman came up to me and started talking. He goes, "What do you see?" So I'm like, "Damn, this is." I'm trying, I'm trying to fit in this world, right? So I'm like, I goes, I sense Caribbean, right? And then and the person I was with was like, it looks like you're looking through a window. And I'm like, huh? And I couldn't, got me the Fiji water. But then I was looking at the painting in a totally different sense. And I'm like, wow, yeah, I get it now. I see what you see. And then he started like these little details that you really where now I'm into this painting of every last detail. And I'm like, yeah, I do see that. Yeah, I do see that. And I said, damn, this is why these artist people, man,
right.
they're really, I'm having conversation about a painting.
Yeah. Good experience.
Yeah, it's a good experience. That was fun to try. Contemporary Art Museum. That was.
Yeah, I became a member of the Boston Museum of Fine Arts.
Nice.
Yeah, so we get in for free any day of the week, anytime we want. We can get into most of their like specialized exhibits for free.
Yeah,
I love art. I'm a Monet fan.
Monet.
Oh my god. If I went by myself, I could sit in that one room
Yeah.
and just look at his art all day.
They had like you think just they have rooms where there's like videos, and it was just a video of clouds, and
Oh,
then
so you were in an immersive experience.
well,
That
they had different experiences
Okay.
in this exhibit. It was just
Yeah.
you just
But
walk
that's the
through.
immersive one where
Yeah.
it's like all around. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so they have like close like there was a thing where they had a big video because it's like a video wall, and it was a video of watching an empty bottle like this going down like the side of the gutters of the sidewalk, and it was like where I'm like in my mind I'm watching it, and you see all these different types of artistic like corners, the branches, and all that stuff. In my mind, I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn, you wonder where this bottle's gonna end up. I'm like, yo, am I becoming artistic now?
Yeah,
Yo,
listen.
like, where's this bottle gonna end up? And you see this travels. Then I'm like, you know, is this the inspiration where people came up with to make water slides? Like, this is what I'm going on this video.
He said, I'm watching a bottle and I'm like, is this where they got water slide?
You're like, so it was interesting. It was an interesting experience.
I'm glad you had a good weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
Were
it
you
though.
on shrooms by chance?
Oh man, I should have been. I probably would have got deeper.
Yeah.
I could have got deeper. I could have got deeper with that guy who was talking to me about this painting. Like,
Oh, you would have saw something for real.
yeah, I would have saw something.
Pink
I would have saw a
elephant.
little man in the painting waving hi to me. I'm like, yeah, you see, wave hi back. But no, it was a good experience. Contemporary Art Museum in Boston. It's a good experience. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
But other than the cold weather, just cold weather. What about this weather?
Oh, don't bring it up.
I hate it, man.
Me and
I don't want you to get because
no, me and Derek are having existential crisis over here.
All right, what, I walk in because I walk into the station and these guys are like, "Where are these guys?" Right, and these two are usually good getting here early, preparing for the show. I said, "Where is these guys?" And they're out front. What were you guys doing?
So when I got out of my car today, I parked on Union Street. So I normally park in the back. Jasmine was parked out front, so I'm like, let me park out front to like walk her in or whatever. And I turned and I saw this homeless guy sitting on the sidewalk out there, and he kind of startled me because I didn't, wasn't thinking
Yeah.
he'd be right in the, in Union Street, whatever, right out front. So kind of startled me, walked in, whatever. We came in, whatever, and I just couldn't get out of my mind that this dude's out there in the cold, it's freezing out, and and then I went in my car. I had a couple of sweatshirts, a jacket and a sweatshirt. I brought it over, and Jasmine came out with me, and I said, it's like, hey, can you use this? Keep yourself warm. And he didn't answer me. And then Jasmine was like, he don't look good. And you were right. He was kind of hunched over, and that's when we started to like worry. She called the police to make sure he wasn't gonna like pass out or die or whatever. So yeah, it's kind of like bothersome for a couple of minutes, I think.
It still bother you now, huh?
It is kind of like I'm like not shaking up, but I'm like, this dude, it's freezing out there. And
Yeah.
I mean, the cops came. I'm sure they did what they is told to do or able to do. They can't bring everyone home.
I was secretly hoping that the guy like woke up startled, assaulted them slightly, just so he could have a warm place to sleep tonight. Because like it stinks. Like there's not enough shelters, and the ones that we do have, they have like these rules where you got to get here, and they can only have so many people. I personally would want bunk beds so that I could fit maybe twice. I don't know. Something, but it's just not enough. Like. And some of these people, what people fail to realize, I don't want to go too long on this, but what people fail to realize is that everybody wants to say they have drug problems, but majority of homeless people have mental illness issues. They're not. And if they do have drug problems, it's their way of self-medicating because they don't trust nobody. Mental illness, depending on what it is very, very demanding on one's mind and body. So if you don't trust anybody and that's you're self-medicating, now you're just putting yourself in a further hole.
Yeah.
So, I like to think that this gentleman is, down on his luck, not just because of drugs. He probably has some mental illness and it's sad.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
It could be anything. And, hopefully, things change for him, but it's so we did a little bit of a show on homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
Sad story. We'll probably get into it again at some point, but, it's just sad to see up close like that.
Yeah, it's sad to see it in America. That's such a rich country that you have people like this that got to survive the cold. It's like it's
26 degrees out.
cold.
It is, yeah.
It's cold. That hurts. That is like I work in the cold. Me and Emmett work in the cold, and we're probably more used to it than probably you guys because we're just.
I work outside in the cold
Oh,
too.
you work?
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
right. You
like,
work
I'm
outside
out.
in the cold
Yeah.
too. So you could bear it a little bit
Yeah.
more than the average person.
Well, plus you're moving.
Yeah,
Like you
plus
guys,
you're
like
moving.
we're
Yeah,
moving.
That
Like,
individual is not
this dude
moving.
it's not
you know,
moving.
Yeah.
No matter how many layers you are, this is the type of cold where that cold is gonna hit. It's that
Hurt.
fingertip hold, and it hurts.
Yeah.
It just hurts, and you feel sad because you don't want nobody to feel it's pain. They're feeling some type of pain outside of the mental illness, the type of pain they're going through. So I hope that person will be okay
Right.
tonight at least.
Yeah.
All right, look, we have a frequency word. Our frequency. What is our frequency word? I mean, can you please just
Equality.
put it up and speak into your mic because you're part of this show, even though they can't see you.
Listen, I'm looking.
He's got the late night voice on.
Yeah, you're trying to sound sexy.
Right there.
You're trying to sound sexy, yo. It's crazy.
Listen, there you go, brother.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah,
There's your word of the day.
Equality.
yeah, equality. And the reason why we chose this word because we had an amazing show. We had an amazing show last week. Amazing show last week about Martin Luther King's birthday, and we had a great discussion about Martin Luther King, but also a local hero. I want to say is my uncle, who is Vernon Carter. We had a discussion with his daughter, and she spread light on a lot of things that he accomplished in his relationship with Martin Luther King. And that is the picture you see behind us is Martin Luther King, and the guy on the opposite side, the little guy there is my uncle, who did a lot in the Boston area as far as segregation in schools. He did a 144-day vigil in protest to desegregate schools and the busing that went along with that. And if you don't know what a vigil is, he literally slept outside the city council building for 144 days. And what he did was he just walked the block back and forth for 144 days. He got donated a van to sleep in a van so he could be more comfortable, but still, he was 144 days and did not leave that spot. And we're gonna talk about that. Right there, we're gonna talk.
Yeah, so I appreciate you bringing a second segment back a little bit because we didn't cover everything we kind of wanted to, and I have a couple questions going forward, so I think it's good to kind of have like a part two and just kind of finish us off right.
Yes. And Jasmine wasn't here, so she has her segment that she prepared for, and we're gonna in the know, and she's gonna add on to what she had prepared last week, where she wasn't feeling too well, and we understand that very much. Our other co-host, Broadway Joe, could not be here. Shout out to Joe, and we're gonna get into. I got a couple of questions I want to ask my co-host that I did not, let them know I was going to ask, but I just wanted to ask to see what they think. This is the point of the discussion. But we got a very entertaining show for you guys. And then Jasmine also is going to take over Joe's segment for tonight. The music and entertainment, she's coming up with a few things. So, she's putting in that work today. And we got a great show.
All right, let's get into it.
So what we do every week, we got to start off with right. And I gotta play this song. I was in an R&B mood all week and weekend. Don't get nasty. All weekend. And this is a great song that we gotta bring back R&B to this level. This song is Joe, Where You At, featuring Papoose. Oh, poor Papoose. See, you want to be a nice guy, then his girl cheated on him.
wait, was that really confirmed? I thought it was never really confirmed, and the guy was saying that in a rap battle just to like.
I don't know.
I heard that it was.
She did deconfirm it, and because she's
because
she's
she's the boss of that show that he's on. So she was. It was a battle, and the understanding was that it was a battle. It didn't really happen because they were out that next week. and they've been.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
I didn't see
somebody
that.
said it was just a battle. He said it to get a point across. Like,
Okay.
like the other guy was trying to act like he was. I guess I don't know. There's like back history
Yeah.
with the other guy,
Oh.
and he was kind of making it a point to be like, I'm the one here. Like, this is my spot. She's my like stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
I guess it wasn't true.
All right. We can't believe everything on the internet. Yeah, absolutely.
No.
I'm learning that. I had a conversation.
And I can't believe that. I love Papoose.
Papoose is a good dude.
I love him.
We need good dudes to win, right, D?
That's right.
We need good dudes to win.
That's right.
Good dudes ain't winning, bro. I'm telling you. That might have me one of my questions that we got to talk about today, man. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. This is where you at. Just for all the good guys. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at from Joe with Papoose? You're listening to The Frequency live on WMB1 Radio. We'll be right back after this. Yes, that was Joe and Papoose. Baby, where you at? Did I sound just like them?
No.
Nah. Y'all listen to Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. I am your host, B. Cotta.
Double D, Derek Demers.
It's Jasmine.
And I'm gonna light my Palo Santo because we want peace. Hold on, we want peace.
Peace is
I'm
good.
trying to. It won't light up. I want my light up.
That's
Palo Santo.
because the
Shout out to Kendo's Bretto Smiley on my Palo Santo.
Hi, Kendall.
Right, and we should get that crystal. Bring peace, peace. Feng shui, feng shui. Wusa. Wusa.
I don't know what's going on right now. All I know is if that flame keeps going, we're gonna have a smoke going on.
Yeah, I got you. Hold on. I can't do it. Hold on. I should. I got. Let me blow it out. Okay, that's good. That's how we're supposed to be. Like feng shui. Get that peace.
There we go.
There we
I
go.
don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start it off. The news with Double D.
All right. You guys good?
Yo, we're having a good time here.
I love it.
We're having a good time.
I think I want to learn more about your weekend. Okay, like
Hey,
when the
easy. I
show's
told you,
over,
man. Mind
okay?
your business, yo.
All right. So
That's the weekend is classified.
Yeah, classified. It's classified. It's G14 classified.
Yeah.
And it's G14 classified this week too. So don't be asking me when you come back.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
All right. So I came up with a couple of questions in regards to last week because we spoke about
Yeah.
finishing it off. So my question to you guys and to the audience, to everyone out there is, the civil rights era, we had Dr. King, Malcolm X, and many others as leaders out there.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, do we have or do we lack the type of leadership like the civil rights movement had?
Jasmine, you want to take this or you want me to go first?
You can go first because I'm
Do we?
what I'm gonna say.
So I think we don't. And here's a reason being. I think that as a society, we pay attention to too many of the people that's influential in social media, into the entertainment, if it's sports or any other entertainment, where there is no moral compass within in society. We need to understand that Martin Luther King, at a young age, basically led a movement. I think he started around 25, 26 years old.
Right.
Someone who is educated, someone who had, a lot of people don't know, had struggles of reading and writing, but yet he was so intelligent that he was able to get a degree in BU because of the hard work ethic and the perseverance he had, that I think is also missed in society when it comes to the youth.
Right.
We've come in a title society that don't appreciate the simple things and the simple freedoms that we have and what Martin Luther King fought for. So, and I think that the society lacks discipline, where we don't know how to get things without aggression because we come with a entitled mindset. So I think we have a problem in that. I'm not saying there is no good leaders, but I think that we have more. Back then, it was more of a union versus now. We're so separated. What do you think, Chaz?
I agree with what you say, but I also don't think that it's a lack of leaders. I think that it's people are content. They're okay with where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And with other cultures, you don't see that.
Mm-hmm.
You constantly see them fighting
Yeah.
for more, for better.
Mm-hmm.
And more and better doesn't always mean give me everything. It just means that there's some more work to be done in the areas we already have.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say I have an acquaintance, somebody I've talked to throughout the years, young Black man, very prominent in the Christian culture, went tech, big tech now, and the thing that he's doing, and I try to tell every young black man that I know to go watch him.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're somebody of faith, or even if you're not. He's
Mm-hmm.
very relatable. But that right there, like I look at him as a young black leader. He has a huge platform. A lot of people follow him.
Mhm.
But the problem is instead of taking what this young man has done and going, how do I do that? Because he even has mentorship now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these guys don't want, even women don't want the help. They want to be like, I did it. It was like, I have friends who are, you know, in their 40s, and they're, everything I hear out of their mouth is, it was always me, only me. I always had me, only me. And I'm like, that's a problem.
That is a problem.
Like if you only have you, there's two things that I'm hearing. You don't have a support system. Maybe your support system is trash, and I can, but you're not looking for one either, because you're so accustomed to that survival mode.
Yeah.
That you're, and that's what I think the real problem is that people are there. They're willing to lead. They're willing to be the leaders we want, but we are such an individualistic society that it's more about, I want to prove to everybody I can do it on my own. Whereas back then they came together, like you said.
So it's like you have a mindset. Everybody wants to be a chief. Nobody wants to be an Indian.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yep.
Yeah, those are good points. I have a couple too. So I think like back then, like Dr. King and Malcolm X, like I feel like when they spoke, like everyone kind of listened, right? Like they galvanized like a group of people. They all came together. Like now I feel like, you know, to your point, like a bunch of individuals running around, and, you know, I do feel like we have a bunch of like social justice warriors or social, you know, people that are out there and they want to like try to change things, but I don't think they have the proper leadership. Like, even though their intentions might be well, you know, even like Black Lives Matter, like their intentions might be well to try to like do this, but I don't think they have good leadership and going in a right positive direction.
Yeah, you don't want to even go down that rabbit hole.
No,
there's a whole thing. I don't know if you ever seen it, Candace Williams. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, no,
I'm not a fan of her.
I listened to her. Go
She's
ahead.
a little
Speak on it.
sometimes,
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
but she did dive deep into Black Lives Matter, and unfortunately, what she dug up, they do not actually care about the Black movement at all.
Right. Yeah. So they bought like properties, houses.
No,
like,
they were funding prostitution.
Right.
They
yeah.
were, I mean, drag queens, prostitute. I mean, everything you can think of that has nothing to do with the movement.
Right.
They were doing it, and the sad part is, it's 3 Black women. It was started by them.
Yeah, you're right. Because when you and I had the discussion about the Black Lives Matter, I think the intent in the beginning was there, but then remember when I asked this question: is money the root of all evil?
Greed.
So when you put money in any equation, and this is the problem in the United States, we as human beings are greedy. So when you put money in any equation, what's going to win? Now, what's going to win now? Is it the greed or is the morals? So back then, when Martin Luther King was trying to move movement, morals was defeating the greed because we didn't have the money. Now because of what Martin Luther King fought, well, we have access to the money. Now we have to be more disciplined than before, to not allow the greed and the money to dictate what we are going to decide. Someone who's a millionaire or who's a billionaire, I don't feel like has the most morals, because if y'all live on a high moral compass, there's no way you can make it, because you're gonna have to step on people to get to that certain point.
I would agree with you until recently.
Okay.
Some of what I'm doing, like I said in the back, is I'm, you know, I've been being vetted for a mentorship, and these people don't charge me for the mentorship. They're doing it out of, and they got money.
Yeah.
And the people above them got money, but they can supersede those people. And the thing that I'm seeing is that it's all about who you surround yourself with.
True.
So like my thing is with the Black Lives Matter, is that there should have been red flags when those 3 women were always the only one running it. There was no checks and balance system. There was no, from what I understand, I could be wrong. Totally. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know. But from what I understand and the little research I've done around it, is that it was these 3 women at the top, No, like people can say that, oh, I know them, but like you don't really know people and you don't know what they're doing behind closed doors when you're not there and what they're discussing. So this could have been the movement sounded good at first and they got a lot of people involved, but if they're the only ones touching that money and there's no checks and balance system, that's a huge red flag for me. There should be a group of people, like a board. They can be the CEOs, the founders, but then there should be a board that's in charge of stuff. That way there's a little bit more of a moral compass there. And I just feel like that's where that probably really failed, is that lack of other eyes on what was going on.
But their intention wasn't pure from the beginning, like to go, so the difference is, like, back then when you had Dr. King and peaceful Dr. King, and then you had Malcolm X, who would take like another route but they all fought for the same thing. They all were fighting for
still in the same moral compass, just different
equality for Black people, whether it's pay, whether it's jobs, whether it's voting, whether it's riding on the bus, whatever it is. Their aim was geared towards, we belong, equality.
Yeah.
The word for today, equality. So that's what they were trying to do. But like now, so in the difference between now is, like, they're stealing money. They're speaking to Black Lives Matter. They're speaking to get people on board. So there's no leadership.
Yeah,
they're leading people in the wrong direction.
Yeah, well, and I think too, it's that complacent. Like, you're just so complacent in life that I'm fighting for my rights. I don't think anybody younger, maybe like our age group and older, understands, but I don't think a lot of these young kids even know what that means. Like, their rights. They think because I'm sorry, whether you're white, Black, whatever, when you walk into a store a certain way, yeah, you're gonna have somebody follow you. If you're being ignorant, if you're being rude, if you're being loud, you look like the type of kids that steal. So yeah, I'm gonna follow you. Doesn't necessarily mean it's because you're Black I'm following you. And I think that's the problem with today, is so many kids think everything is racism. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I used to work with youth, how many times I heard, it's because I'm like, the man is Black. What are you talking about? How can he hate you? That means he hates himself. So what you're telling me is this man hates himself so much that he's now coming down on you for it? Like, just everything's race. I mean, I was just on a Facebook group that I'm in, and it was about
we have
oh, go ahead.
We have a call.
Oh, go ahead.
Hello, y'all on the Frequency Live. Who is speaking?
This is Jala Leonard.
Hi, Jala.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
So what's your opinion on the topic as far as the civil rights movement and BLM and, the topics that we had last week on Martin Luther King's birthday?
Say that again. I'm sorry. It's kind of loud.
What is your opinion on the topic that we're talking about as far as the civil rights movement, Martin Luther King, and BLM?
Well, I agree with a lot of what you guys saying. I look at it as, like, back during that time with Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and there were some other strong leaders out there like Jesse Jackson and stuff like that. I think that, as especially people of color, we were all on the same playing field. Okay, and even, like, if you look at actors and actresses, who were cause, like, Sammy Davis Jr., all that. Yeah, they might have had a little money coming in, but you know what? They were still Black.
Yeah,
and they still had to by those quote unquote rules. And I feel like today, and somebody brought it up, I forget who it was, when they talked about values. I feel like back then we all had the same values, we all had the same mission. And I think in today's world, like, a lot of us don't. Well, I should say, I don't want to speak for everybody, but a lot of us don't even know who we are, don't know where we came from, don't understand the reason why you might have what you have today. And I think they truly have lost focus. First of all, say that again.
Like, when you say we, who's we?
So I'm mostly speaking of, like, people of color.
Yep. Okay.
In majority, like, people of color mostly.
Yep.
And I just look at it like I take myself like I'm a school teacher, and I teach math in high school,
Okay.
and I teach I like to teach. I mean, I teach in alternative school, so I have a lot of behavioral kids, and of course, if you look at majority of my students, they look like me,
Mm-hmm.
black males, and I try to tell these young people it's just like you have to live for something.
A
You
purpose.
have to have value in
Mm-hmm.
yourself. And then I'm not saying be fake, be who you want to be, but I look at it as be real and be who you want to be, not who they say you want to be.
Mm.
Now, when it comes to like leaders today in today's world, I think we have leaders in the world today, but I think a lot of times those true leaders don't get the spotlight because they're out there, they're working. I think there's like in different states you still got NAACP, you still got the Urban League, stuff like that. You have I listen to a radio show called Urban View on Sirius. There's 3 shows I listen to. I consider those people leaders because they feed us the information to think,
Mm-hmm.
to educate ourselves, so on and so on. But I think the problem is as a people, as people of color, we are so divided, we are so separated, and we have done that to ourselves that you know everything gets distorted.
Like
You know,
I like when I'm listening to you, like when you spoke on like Sammy Davis Jr. You had the entertainers, right? And they understood their
yeah,
position. They're still black, so they moved with a certain type of morals and class. All right, and so
yeah,
obviously they had influence because they're entertainers. Then you had your
yeah,
leaders that were in step with them. Also, they were in step with the civil rights leaders too. So I
yes,
feel what you're saying is that we still have these same entertainers today, but they're not lockstep with the people that's doing the right things that's still at the NWCP and all that stuff. Like the entertainers are more influential, especially in the social media age, and they're following and they think that's the right way to live. The
well, I say,
Go ahead.
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Like,
No, but I say I agree with you. But like I watched this video the other day,
yeah,
and they were talking about it, and the video was talking about the time like when I was growing up in high school. I
yeah,
mean, look what you had. You had Public Enemy,
mm-hmm,
you had Tribe, you had certain, and I'm
yes.
just gonna jump to the hip hop for a moment because that's one of my favorite genres.
Now go
You had
ahead.
certain hip hop artists that yeah they wanted to make their paper but look at their voice of what
Yes,
they were saying,
the
and they would
content.
but it seemed like all the content. Thank you. It seemed like all that just went away. Now, do you still have some entertainers who are in the fight? I think you do,
Yeah.
but they don't get that big spotlight because I think overall we are just a country divided, totally divided.
Do you feel like music is a weapon that divides us?
So
Or
I think music is some of it.
because I believe
I think some of it.
I believe music is the most influential thing in this world.
I
If
agree with you 100%.
so when you talk about content, when you listen to music now, that is there out and about, listening to the music and the content of the music's being played that's loud and being played. And it's all negativity. If it's disrespectful towards women, disrespectful to yourself, meaning, if way to women, how to treat women, disrespectful to yourself is a lot of drug taking. Like even we were talking, me and Jasmine were talking about R&B music. When I listen to R&B music now, I'm like, a lot of these artists are depressed.
Hmm.
They're not even happy.
Yeah,
Or they talk about just self humiliation, like SZA,
Yeah.
yeah,
like that song that she sings,
Yeah.
"I'll pull the trigger for you." I'll do. It's like, what are you talking about
And that's what
lately?
I mean, where parents need to understand, listen to the music your kid to listen to,
Oh
because
yeah.
that's going to tell you in the state of mind of society that they're in. Just by the music they listen. When we grew up and we were young, we had music that literally made us happy.
yes,
We wanted to go
Wanted to
out there and
fall in
yes,
love.
dance and fall in love.
yes.
Yeah.
Like I want to treat this girl good so I can have her to fall in. Like now it's not like that. And so
No,
Good
and
point.
we're not being accountable of the content. We could still have the same type of beats, the same type of music, but the content matters. But people,
But you bring up a good point though about the accountability piece.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And but here's the problem though. I feel like as people of color, we're not even holding ourselves accountable.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Now, and another factor, not only music, but like I'm a son of a minister.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and one thing my father and I and some my friends my age, we talk about it. And if you look at the church today,
mm-hmm.
and I can only speak for the African Methodist Episcopal Church. If you look at a lot of churches today, like I remember when I was young people always there.
Yeah.
Always in church. You got young people quiet. You got to go to Sunday school.
Yep.
You got to go to this. You have to go to different organizations in other states with other churches. But if you look at a lot of churches today, you don't see the kids.
Yeah.
Parents are not bringing their kids to church.
Yeah.
And so when you have those two big factors like that of music and religion, and when I say religion, I just don't mean like just the praises going up there, because like church to me is the people, and the people should be able to communicate with one another. But when you don't have music, you don't have church. Like I'll be honest, I got lucky having two parents who were ministers, growing up in the era that I grew in.
Yeah,
and that's why a lot of times being a teacher, I try to tell my students sometimes, no, don't listen to that garbage. Listen to this. Like in my classroom, sometimes I play that 80s hip hop sometimes.
Yeah, that's some good shit.
You know, I play that 90s R&B.
Yeah.
Sometimes to try to educate them. You know.
No,
and then I tell them sometimes, I'm like, yeah. I tell them sometimes, go bring your butt to church. Just sit there. I guarantee you feel something. No. But when you have those two aspects, that even as people of color, we don't want to push, invite, and get the young people involved. That's why there's no morals.
Yeah,
I'll agree with him on that, because my daughter, throughout our years, I've been somewhat inconsistent sometimes of going to church, moving, and then, I got to find I got to go, whatever. But now that we're getting back to it, and she's also in a Christian academy, so I'm like wicked big on that. But like, as far as like music and stuff, like, because we go to church, I don't want to shield her from everything, because that's when kids go a little bit crazy, but I don't let her listen to Cardi B. I have friends that do let their kids listen to that, and I personally think it's wild. Whatever, that's your kid, you do what you want. But like, I personally, like, my kid, she knows like all the old school. I mean, this kid is listening to Queen. My kid, like, right now, she's like on an old rock kick right now, and she's gonna be 12. She can tell you all these songs. I mean, again, even those though, you got to listen to what the lyrics are. I weed it out, but I mean, she surprises me every day we talk. She's like, "Oh, Mom, did you know that Nirvana has this song?" And I'm like, "Which one?" But then she goes, "Oh, it's this one. There's nothing bad in it." Because she knows, like, I'm very big on lyrics and content and what's in it. And, sometimes she doesn't know because she's so innocent. So I have to tell her, not yet. You can't listen to that yet. Not age appropriate. But I think, like he said, it's very important that you guide kids. Because without guidance, I hate to say this, but if you look at the kids right now, ages anywhere from, I'd say 8 to 18, it's scary.
It is scary.
They're very scary. And I'm talking 8 years old to 18 is a very, very scary age right now. I mean, more than when I was a kid, and I thought it was wild when I was a kid. I'm 33 now. And these kids, I'm like, God help us, because if this is who's supposed to take over one day, I hope I'm not around for it.
And we as an adults, we're trying to conform because we're being so sensitive to these kids' feelings. And
yes.
And what I like, I was listening to the Breakfast Club this past week, and like I like Charlamagne the God because how he grew up and who he would become, and he kept on saying, "Your feelings are not facts.
Yep.
Your feelings are not facts." So it's like we need to sometimes kids need tough love, and they may not
Yes.
understand it at
Amen.
the moment, but when they grow up and they look back on their lives, it's like they're gonna see the reason why you done what you done.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to pay attention to what you're feeding, because I feel like, and correct me if I'm a yard teacher, I
Yeah.
feel as kids grow up, they don't learn for a lot of times what you tell them. They learn to what they see on a consistent basis. If they see
Yes.
if they see a mother who hasn't a guy in and out of the house, a different guy in and out of the
Oh
house,
yeah.
that if she has a daughter, that daughter's gonna think that's normal,
Yep.
and that's how she's gonna end up being. So even though her intention is not to be that, but you're teaching her that's okay
Right.
Yep.
to be that. Same thing with a boy. How I see how this man cheats cheats a woman, and I see that on a consistent basis, and that's how he's gonna treat women. So it's we gotta, as an adult, we need to show our children, not just tell them, show them. Don't say, all right, you tell them one thing, then do another and contradict yourself.
Right.
Yep.
Because when they grow
Yeah.
up, they're gonna know the contradiction, and they're not gonna have no respect for you. And now they're left
Yeah.
alone trying to
But
figure out the world on their own.
but it's like that. It's like that theory that says it takes a what? A village
Yes.
to raise the child,
And nobody helps anymore.
and that's like these 2 points that I just want to end. I want to end with because I got to get on. But we said music, church, but if you think about other 2 things, community, and that's the village to raise a child, and education. I mean, if we can get those 4 factors and put that same civil rights energy into those 4 things, I'm not saying proof everything's going to be well, but you'll see society change, not only in people of color, but just society in general. You'll see change there, because I really believe that education today, it's politically driven, and these politicians know if we keep not only students of color, but if we keep people divided, we'll win. Because if we don't keep them divided, we keep them strong. And you guys talk about equality. I also want to throw a word in here for you: equity. Right?
Yes.
If we can take equity and equality and put it into education, that's not only going to help a generation of people, students of color. That's going to help a whole generation.
Yes.
It's going to make this country stronger.
Yes. Because together we are stronger. You're like our diversity. Our diversity in our country is our strength. So how they are weakening how they are weakening our country? By dividing us.
Yes.
The whole system divide. You got a Democrat and a Republican. That's dividing us. You know what I'm saying? You got black, white, Asian, Latin, and everybody's living their own culture in the same space when we're living under the same law. So we all need to come together. Don't allow them to divide us. And I think we have more of a unity. We don't got the civil rights movement if white people don't join the civil rights movement.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it couldn't be just black.
So the the march on Washington.
Yes.
There was 75 to 80% black. So to your point, there was 20 to 25% of white people supporting and marching with you guys and trying to get that ball rolling. So
yes. I want to ask you, before I let you go, because as a teacher, and you deal with these young people. So someone on our chat that we have it posted up on Facebook, and it says, Maria Hayden says, years ago, people of color weren't calling each other niggas, nigga or niggas, whatever. There is an absolute no respect for each other. Adults should not allow it. Rosa Parks, MLK, and many others who fought and died for your civil rights must be turning in their graves. What do you feel about that word? Because I'm sure you hear it among the kids that you teach. No?
Well, I hear it all the time, and I shut it down quick.
Mm-hmm.
And then not only do I shut it down, they ask me why. Right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they ask you why. It's crazy why they even asking you why.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
I understand where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is they haven't been taught the reason why it's not a good word. Yeah. Like, for instance, they look at it's how they look at the word. They look at the word a certain way, but they don't know the history
Yes.
of how the word was developed. And so I think if we could teach them the history of the word that was developed, we're not saying don't say it. We're saying more of know the history, understand why my generation, my parents' generation before you, why we don't like to hear you say it. So if you want to be in your neighborhood and do all that, but know your surroundings.
Yes.
You're not the only one in your surroundings sometimes.
Yes.
So sometimes you gotta, like how you say with people watching, sometimes you gotta people watch and see where you're at and say, not code switch. You just have to say, well, I'm gonna stay me, but there's certain words I can't use. So it's just I don't know.
It's just out of
I understand how
too.
they use it.
Like I think that when a person's using that word, you're not showing self-respect or respect to others who fought so that word not be used the way that the history was using back then in history.
I also think that a lot of kids utilize that word because maybe their parents said, "Well, we took power back and we changed that word." You know, I know that
trying to change it,
but I've heard people say that. That's their mindset. And you know what? Being Cape Verdean and Portuguese, like both sides, like that's not the only time I've heard a word that had such a negative use be used in that way. Like a lot of people, and again, a lot of people don't, but a lot of people do find power in being able to say it and being like, but you can't say it anymore because it's, it's bad when you say it, but when I say it, it means camaraderie.
But isn't that what?
But here's the problem, though.
Go ahead. Yep.
White kids are using it now.
Yeah.
To each other.
Oh, I know.
To each other.
Yeah.
And to other black kids.
Yeah.
Like I'll give you. Let me give you before I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give you a story. Then I'm gonna have to go.
Okay.
I was in school one day. Now I believe in discipline. Like I tell these kids, I don't want my time wasted. If I'm here to teach you, let's learn together. I'm gonna learn from you. You're gonna learn from me. So on, so on. Okay. So, but if you mess up, I'm gonna have to discipline you. So this kid, he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing, and white kid come out and he called me the N-word. So I stay calm, because like I said, I'm a God-fearing man. I stay calm. Only person that can rattle me is God, and that's it. But I went to the social worker. I went to the social worker, and I said, you need to talk to this kid. So she talked to him. And so then I said, but when you're done, I want to talk to him too. And I was straight up with him. I said, listen, first of all, I want to give you my parents' number, and you need to call them and say thank you for being ministers. Because if I wasn't a preacher's kid, and if I just was homeboy from the hood, I'm waxing you up and down this hallway quick. Okay? And then I said, and secondly, I said, you got to understand that you might be able to say that to Joe Smo, your friend Bobby from the block who might be black, but let me take you to a neighborhood where you know nobody and you use that word. We're not going to see you ever again, brother. That's what I told. We're not going to see you ever again. We'll have pictures of you, but we won't see you. I said, so you got to understand. Yeah, you might think you can use that word loosely, but no, you can't. So I to me, I think with that word, with these young people, you got a lot of times, like if you're the type of person you don't like, express it. And if they say why, give them an educated moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Teach them. Have them understand.
And this is why we can't.
But I have to. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, this is why we cannot, as further away we get from the times of the 60s where Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and the civil rights movement, we cannot forget. We got to keep on educating them. Because the further we get from it, the further we're forgetting over the next generation, because they're not learning how important those times were, and
yeah. I hear you.
All right, so
but I have to get going.
All right, bro. Thanks for calling.
Thank you, Jala.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Okay, so that to me, like, is the N-word. It's the music too. These kids hear it in the music all the time,
yes,
and they think they can repeat it. So
yes,
to me, like the music industry should shut that down.
Yes, and like back then, not in during Martin Luther King, because the music was totally different back then as far as like um what things were made. Like music is just it's more pure back then. But even in the 90s, you still had music that was, you know, using that word, but not as much now.
It's like every other word. It's like they have zero vocabulary.
Right.
They'll string three words together and then throw that. You're like, what?
Like,
It
yo,
doesn't even go there.
let me fill in this word with the N word.
Yeah, like it don't even go there. It don't even make sense.
But it's cool to them. And I don't know. I'm big on content when it comes to music, and if you don't have content, then that means you can't really think, and that's what brings intelligence into music in itself. But go ahead.
So let me just say two more things before I go to my last question. As far as like leadership goes, we're talking about in the Black community, right? Dr. King, whatever. So I mean, we did have Obama, Black president, Kamala's Black vice president. Oprah Winfrey. Does anyone know who Robert Johnson is?
I know who Robert Johnson. He's the first Black billionaire.
Right. So I feel like there's a lot of Black people that we don't probably take advantage of. We try to like prioritize like the hip hop artists or the sports athletes or the people that kids are chasing like the wrong dreams. Where there's a lot of Black people successful that we should be like looking up to and try to go down that path.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's like, but then we as Black people are criticizing these Black people because they feel like they should be doing more, but they're only one person. It's like you have Black people that they complain about Obama not doing more for the Black people when he was in office, but you understand he was an American president. He wasn't a Black American president, so he had to do things for America, not for Black America.
I also feel like just because you're famous also don't mean you owe everybody something.
Right.
True.
Right.
Like, because you just happen to roll the dice and get lucky.
You got lucky.
Yeah, you got a job. You got a job that pays you extremely well.
Yeah.
So to go towards like you listing off all those people, like I personally think that it's parents' problem. 100%.
I agree.
I think that your kids, like obviously we look up to people because we want to be like, oh, I want to be a basketball player, right? But I think ultimately it's the parents' problem. And I'm a parent, so I can say I fall short sometimes. Everybody falls short.
You're going to.
Yeah. But for me, I just don't feel like famous people, like when people always yell about Cardi B, she's so nasty. Well, then why is your kid listening to her?
Yeah.
It's not her responsibility to not sing WAP.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to not have your child in front of that TV.
Exactly. Maybe as a parent, you shouldn't be listening to it, and why that kid's watching you listen to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I do that. I listen to all my music when my kid is not in the car. I'll be in the car. It could be nasty, whatever. I'm just having that day. I'm like, whatever. All right. The minute I pick my daughter up, listen, you can shame me, but I listen to music for the beats. I'm a dancer.
Yeah.
So sometimes I don't even listen to the lyrics. I'm just listening to the beat. But besides the point, when the minute my daughter comes out of the house from my parents' house, when I go to pick her up or whatever, that song gets shut down.
Yeah.
Boom. And then I have a garden playlist that I garden to, and it's got like everything.
The feng shui.
It's
the
got
feng shui.
Everything from modern music to old school to Michael Jackson to I'm not even joking. You know the song in Beetlejuice?
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about.
Shake. We got that on it. I'll be going through. I'm not even joking. On full blast down the street. People are like,
yo, yeah.
But it's things that my daughter likes. It's old school music. It's good for the soul. I'm like,
but even the beats with those beats are making you feel good.
Yeah.
Even the beats that's being made today is like, you're depressing me, dog.
Yeah.
That's why when you go out, there's no place to dance because they're not even making music that makes you dance.
No, everybody just stand like this and go like this.
Yeah. On a
hookah. Oh,
and you're on your phone, like you act like you're having a good time. If you're having such a good time, then you have that phone
like
pointing at you. You know you're not having a good time, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So why are you there? Why are you with the people you with if you're not
spending hundreds of dollars?
Yeah, enjoying that company. We know what it is, but you look good, so I watch.
All right, that brings me to my second question.
What is? This is fun.
What are some of the things we need to work on in regards to civil rights? now? Like where we're at now? Is it leadership positions? Is it more black owned businesses? Is it more equal pay? Like
Black owned businesses.
What is it?
Black owned businesses. We owe everybody a lot of money. We own far too less. We do not have enough. And that's something I'm big on teaching my daughter. Like big. Like buy everything you can. Buy it. I don't care if it's something that you think might fail. You learn from failures.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Buy it. Because if we don't own anything, we have nothing. So this is the part that bothers me. I see both sides of it because of me being mixed. And part of that, like I get, sometimes I'm in circles and people assume I'm Spanish. So they say things around me that they might not say in front of somebody if they knew they were black or something, So I hear a lot and see a lot. And what I notice is that the black side of my family has very, very little idea of how to pass generational wealth down. Very little idea.
Yeah, they don't have the information.
Yeah, like and when I'm in finances and I'm trying to teach them and I'm being met with all types of resistance. I mean, and I'm like, bro, I'm giving you the secrets.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm learning, I'm trying to tell you. Like, just you can do it with whoever. If you think I'm only trying to tell you this to get paid, just take what I'm telling you.
But it doesn't have that label of Louis Vuitton, Gucci, or Apple.
Or
it doesn't have that
get rich quick.
That status of it. That we're our own worst enemies. Like to piggyback on what y'all saying. Me working for UPS, I deliver in a nice neighborhood in Fairhaven, and when I first started delivering, like I'm just thinking. So I'm going through these areas of Fairhaven, Mattapoisett, and I'm looking at these houses, and I'm like, something. As I'm learning about financial, I'm learning financial things because I'm learning. I'm wait a minute. This ain't new money. All this is old money. This is generational wealth.
Yeah, some of it.
So now you start thinking like, it's not like they got a job and then they're living on the water.
Yeah.
No, or they no, this is left to them, maybe generationals, that like in some type of way. And I learned, and then I started listening and even learning guys who I have worked with who had the information, but because I'm working beside them, they think I had the same information as them. I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't. It is like, for an example, my mother was a hairdresser. She had a successful business downtown, as her own salon downtown.
Yep.
And she was literally paying everything cash to hand. She didn't know anything about an LLC. If she had an LLC, she would have had a better life because she can use that for certain incidents to make it easier for her to buy product. Where it
Write
doesn't
it off.
write it off and get more money. She goes, I didn't know, but guess what? She worked for Regis Hairstyle that was in the mall for many of years with the other white counterparts. She worked with another white counterpart who had his own salon, but never told her the information. They were telling do your own salon, but never told you the information. People, we're not sharing the info, and that was a white individual, which is not his fault. It's not his responsibility, or maybe she just wasn't being observant and listened. Like, how did you get this? Now, I taught her about the information. Now she has a better understanding. Like, oh, that's how I got it. Oh, that's how I got it. Imagine if she had that information, maybe she can retire. She could have retired at an earlier age because she would have created more equity instead of playing cash to hand. Because we as Black people, that's all we knew is cash to hand. So it's also information and education, and we got to stop glorifying like athletes who hit the genetic lottery.
Yeah.
It wasn't intelligence. They ain't all that. They just hit the general. He's 6'9", 260. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Of course. You know what I'm saying? He's 6'9", 260. Genetic lottery. But we're glorifying something like that. Or it's just
that actually bothers me. A lot of parents, and even today, I listen, don't attack me, y'all, but a lot of these parents with kids in sports think their kids are going to the league, think they're going to be rich, they're going to get scholarships to and I'm like, listen, your kid plays on the weekends, okay? He goes to all the practices he has to, but outside of that, I don't see your kid going outside on their own, shooting.
There's a difference.
To like practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a mindset to those people that like I was actually just listening to that mentor group that I get audios, and I was literally listening. They were talking about Kobe Bryant, and one of the people they knew actually was helping train Kobe Bryant. Like it was like, and he called. Listen to this story. He called and said, "Can you meet me at the gym?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, it's 3:00 in the morning, mind you." He answered the phone though, because it's Kobe Bryant. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, well, I'm on my way there now. How soon can you get there?" The dude was like, "I thought he meant in the morning. I'll be there in a minute." Like, you know, he gets up, he gets there, right? So then he leaves, right? By the time when he got there, Kobe was already drenched in sweat. Okay. When he left, came back the next morning, he was like, "Oh, you're here. What time did you go to bed?" He goes, "Go to bed." He's like, "I didn't even leave here." He goes, "What are you talking about?" He said from 3:00 in the morning till 11:00 in the morning, Kobe did the workout with him, okay? Then had a goal for himself where he would not leave the gym unless he made X amount of shots in a row. Then at 11:00, he went till like 1:00, did the team practice.
Yeah.
This man went from 3 a.m. to 1 p.m. that day. And then I think still didn't really take a break.
Yeah.
He went and like maybe took a nap. But like that's the people that go to the league. Like and it's the parents' fault. Everything kind of goes, I hate to say it, but it goes back to the people, and the leadership is the parents.
It starts with the parents.
Yeah, and if we raise kids who were competent, who knew what hard work was because we showed them it, we would have better leaders.
I agree.
We don't have that.
And maybe that's the answer to your question. Is like, you know, do we have leaders today? But parenting, you know, do we have parenting like it was back then? If you look at how Martin Luther King was raised as parenting, you need a mentor type. You need people to learn from, because you can't grow up, again, what you said, you can't do anything by yourself. You need people to help you. Nobody's successful without help. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, if you get married to somebody, that person got to be a helpmate, a partner. You're like, you're gonna become more successful. That person that you marry can help you become more successful or bring you down, especially as a man. As I'm speaking as a man, you can speak as a woman if you want. She goes, as a man, that person got to be like, that's why they call it partner, to help. Even with the kids, the system is built for kids to have two parents involved in their lives. If not, you know, you even if you have two parents, you can still grow up with some type of trauma.
Morals.
But at the same time, if you still have the two parent there, you have more success to, you know.
So I feel like in a lot of ways, because I'm gonna hit on this generation and the parents in 1 second.
Okay.
You know, we have affirmative action in place. You know, there's a lot of things in place that we've put since the civil rights movement to help minorities and Black people get good jobs or equal jobs and what have you, which to me, like, that all leads to generational wealth down the road.
Yeah.
You know, so if one generation can get a good job and make money and buy a house and invest in money, they can eventually leave it to their kids, and that's how it starts.
That's how it starts.
So we're one. We spoke about this. We're one generation away from the civil rights movement.
Yes.
Right. It's my dad and your dad that were, you know, right in the thick of it. So we're one generation away from that.
Yeah.
So the Black community, if they had a hard time, because we let's face it, right? The white community, the white by and large has the generational wealth, right? They need to catch up, or they need to like get going.
We're behind.
So we're behind. So, you know, affirmative action, all these things are put in place, which is awesome. Okay, but then it comes to, you know, the two parents at home, or Jala mentioned, you know, taking your kid to church or educating them, like all of that makes a better person that will get better jobs, that will be successful, that will be able to raise a good family, and then kick that down to the next generation. You know, what money wise, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, no, it makes perfectly sense, and that's where we need to understand is like, all right, why we got to have the conversation. Why are Black people, or minorities in general, behind? And it's not necessarily about money, but it has to do with money. But we could talk about when Black people served in the military and they came back in the GI Bill. Like white people got the GI Bill. Nobody knows the GI Bill is where you had these benefits. For an example, you had access to get finances to buy a house.
Right.
But the black people who served in the military did not get this bill, but the white people did. So that started their generational wealth. Okay.
Right.
When back in the day you had redlining as far as like, all right, these are the neighborhoods that are bad neighborhoods that if there's black people in, that the cost of the housing is going to be low. So you're going to have white people come in and buy at a low cost because they redline them, and then they're going to change the line. And again, when they buy these homes, when white people buy those homes, they'll put up the cost.
You know what I think was the biggest like blow to the black community was when they bombed Black Wall Street.
Well, I was ready. That's the next one I was going.
When we were on the cusp of learning that and passing it down,
they didn't want that. They bombed it, so they don't want the information.
They did exactly what they set out to do, to set the community back another 50, 100 years.
Yeah.
They literally did what they set out to do. They bombed it. They said, bam, you can't do nothing about it either because we're the government.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
When did that happen? Like what year?
That happened, I want to say it was before the civil rights movement.
Yeah, no.
It happened like in the 50s. I want to say in the 50s, late 40s.
Yeah, so I mean, that doesn't surprise me that the government did that. And, and now I swear that like the media and it's so divisive and they want to keep a issue between the races, and it's a business. It's a business for them. Racism is $1 billion.
It is.
No, it is.
So it is.
It's sad.
Yeah, and that's why, like, shows like this, we need to have conversations through a diverse cast, which I hope that's what we're doing, so people can listen. We're all trying to get to the same spot, but there's also people out there that don't have morals, like we talk about in the beginning of this show, that don't want you to get there because of their greed and because they want the money for themselves. So
the trick is put yourself around people who want the best for you, and by doing that, you vet them.
Yeah.
Ask questions, spend time with them. And when I say spend time with people, don't go party with these people. Don't do things that give you endorphin releases. Because the minute you do that, you instantly, right? Like when you're around somebody, right? And you're having a great time, all sense goes out of your head.
True.
You lose sight of who that person is. You're like, this is a great time. I always have a good time. And those endorphins are going off. So the next time you see them, the endorphins start to go off again. And you're real happy to see them.
And now they have this control over you that you even know. And they're plotting and skiving to make sure that you don't.
Or sometimes
because you may be their threat. So that's why they may be friending you.
But sometimes it's not even plotting. Sometimes it's, listen, there's ain't shit people in this world. Let's just put it out there. And sometimes they don't even mean to be ain't shit people.
But that's who
they just ain't shit. They ain't going nowhere. They don't want to go nowhere. They don't want to do things. And when you put yourself around those people, the best thing I heard this weekend from the conference I did virtually was the top 5 people in your life are who you are.
Yes, 100%.
Right?
100%.
So if you are somebody who cannot people watch, who gets too close to people right away. Like people love to say I have resting bitch face and I am that. They're like, you're very stand up because I'm watching.
Yeah.
I don't trust people.
I don't trust people. I got trust issues, yo.
No, listen. I got trust issues. No, but I don't call it trust issues.
And I'm insecure, yo.
Well, that's a different thing. But I don't call that trust issues. You're gonna take that green screen down.
Come on now, frequency all day, every day.
I don't call it trust issues. I think that when I call it discernment, God gave us discernment. When people say you're not supposed to judge, no, ma'am, you don't read the Bible clearly. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not supposed to judge someone's heart. That's God's job. But you dang sure can look at somebody in their actions and put 2 + 2 together equals 4. I'm not a fool. You're a thief. You're a liar. I'm not gonna look at you and go, only God can judge you.
Yeah.
No, I'm supposed to use my eyes and my brain.
I could judge you if I want you.
I can judge your actions.
Yes,
I cannot judge your heart
or be opinion about your actions. That I like. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like
I'm not trying to word it. It is what it is. You're right.
There's certain things that we have discernment. Use it. So if you want to be better and you want to be a leader, go out there and be around actual leaders.
Yeah.
Look for people in your community. Doesn't matter how small they are in the leadership role. If they are a leader and they make things happen, no matter how small, be around them because chances are they know people who are bigger. then those people know people who are bigger.
They say if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
Let's take a music break, and we're gonna get into no. This is a great conversation.
Yeah.
You was
Go
right
on,
about
go on.
you could go on and on and on. Again, we just wanted we had to bring up the civil rights movement from the conversations from last show. If you haven't listened to the last show, go back to the video, the last show, and listen. I got to record these amazing conversations we're having on the Frequency Live, and I'm gonna make a point of doing that so people could listen to wherever they are. But for now, we're gonna take a music break. And also, if you don't have the WMB1 radio app, download it. If you want to listen, if you can't download it, go to WMB1.com. You can listen to there. But you can also keep it locked on Facebook Live and watch our beautiful faces talk to each other, because, I don't know, a lot of people are visual, and
I like to watch it live.
And he thinks he is so beautiful, so he wants you to stare at him.
Okay. Yeah. See, you're saying too much. All right, we'll be right back. I'm gonna play some Avant because
I love him too.
Well, Avant with featuring Nicole Scherzinger. Remember from Pussycat Dolls?
Mm-hmm.
This song is called "Lie About Us." Y'all listen to the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. Download the app or go on WMB1.com. We'll be right back after this. "Lie About Us," Avant. Yes, that was Yvonne. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a
I'm
little
taking your
bit
mic away.
longer.
She's in a singing
Just a
mood today. What's
little
going
bit,
on?
just a little
I don't know
bit,
what's going on.
just a little bit
Somebody lied to him
longer.
as a. Is your brother lying to you about music?
Listen,
He let you record, and now you're feeling
no,
yourself.
no,
No,
no.
no. He said no, no, no.
He needs to let me record, write some of his
Oh
music,
my
bro.
god.
I'm telling you. But that's a different conversation for another day. you you have listened to the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. I am your host, B. Cotta.
Double D.
It's Jasmine.
And we are Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. And it's about that time for hold on. I gotta get you all set up here, Jazz.
Wait for my beat to drop.
Yeah, wait for you. Hold on. Wait. Where'd your beat at, yo? Hold on.
Wow, you erased me?
No. Oh, here we
It's
go.
gone one time.
There we go. In the know with Jasmine.
All right.
Don't lie about us.
I'm scared now. So we're gonna cover some stuff from last week since I was not here. I apologize. Just kind of going along the lines of the civil rights. So I learned in some of my research that in 1963,
Go ahead.
they Boston Stay Out for Freedom campaign. It was Attention on Citizens for Human Rights, CFHR. It was led by Reverend James P. Breeden and Noel Day. It was a nonviolent protest, direct action to fight segregation. So they probably knew your uncle.
Yeah, when I was reading what you was gonna put on the show, my cousin, her father, she mentioned the relationship they had.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they worked on the segregation within the schools, within just the city overall, but mainly a lot of the focus was on the schools because that was like the biggest thing up north was things were all right, but the schools and the neighborhoods were a little segregated still. They based their practice on the Birmingham events. So they tried to take that whole basis of how they wanted to protest from Birmingham. They did not have, obviously, because it was the North and it was what, most African Americans at the time found to be a safe haven. That's why they came up here. They didn't face the same physical violence that the South faced, just due to it was a little bit more taboo out this way. It was more name calling and, I don't want to serve you type stuff versus the actual physical violence. And both of these gentlemen were Dartmouth University graduates. So they went to school right up the road.
Right in Providence.
No, Dartmouth.
Oh, UMass Dartmouth.
Yeah, Dartmouth.
Oh, UMass Dartmouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there was a book called The Negro Mood by LeBron Bennett, I believe, Jr. You can further read about the history in this time period in that book. It really sets the mood for how African Americans or just people of color in general really what they faced out this way versus just down south and stuff like that. So that's what I got from reading up on that a little bit. The other cool thing that I believe your uncle would have known this lovely woman, Ruth Baston.
Yes, you mentioned that person's name too.
Yep. So she was the chairman of the Public Education Subcommittee of the NAACP and many other positions she held with them. She was the first Black woman on the Democratic National Committee, and she was the first woman elected president of the NAACP New England chapter. The other cool thing about Ruth was that her parents were both Jamaican descent. So not typically what most people would call themselves African American. If you just know the culture, you know that Jamaicans are typically like, I am Jamaican. Do not mistake me, right? And that's cool. They are very proud people, and I love that. But she really saw people don't see me as Jamaican. They see me as Black. So, and her mom felt that way too. Her mom felt so much so that she followed Garvey. She was, yep, she was very, very heavily embedded in that. She brought Ruth as a child to like sermons of his.
Oh, Marcus Garvey sermons.
Like she was like, so as a child, she saw her mother kind of like following, and her mother wasn't well educated at all. Her mother and her ended up being in the same class at one point in elementary school because her mother was like, I need to go back to school. I need to get educated. I need to like know so I can better advocate for myself and stuff. But really her civil rights movement, I would say, started a long time before she was even an adult because her mother embedded her in that lifestyle. So I thought that was pretty cool about Ruth. And you know, you can look up who she is as an individual. As I lose my dang place, I apologize, guys. Right here, sorry. All right. And then MLK, I don't know if you guys talked about this, but what I had on him was that he actually met his wife here in Boston. Yep. So he met his wife. He attended BSU, got his PhD, held a march in 1965 in Roxbury to the Boston Common, which if you go to that park, it is very central, like located
where the statue is.
Yeah. Like it's huge. Like people, it's a hub. Like people walk around the park, like there's businesses and, you know, it's pretty much like if you're walking to that park with enough people are noticing. So if you've never been to Boston for whatever reason, you're like my boyfriend, you just stay where you're from and you don't really go exploring.
It is a nice park. It has other statues of people. I forgot the people they have. I don't know, it's of way back before the civil rights, but
yeah. And fun fact, you can feed the squirrels there, and they're really friendly. They'll climb your leg. But he also spoke at Fort Hall, so I just think it was. I think it's important to recognize the people, just that worked with him out here, and the people that even came before him.
Yeah. He did go to BU, and that's where he met Coretta. She talked about that. I think she went to a arts institution or something of that nature in Boston, and that's what that statue is their arms hugging each other from a picture. I should have downloaded it and put it up for this particular show, but I didn't. But yeah, what else you got?
All right, so for this week's In the Now, so New Bedford Public Library, we all know where it is, the main one downtown. It's really big, beautiful, but there's 6 branches all throughout the city. There's little ones that you wouldn't even know. They're called community centers, but they're part of the library. They host clubs for kids and adults. I did not know this. Yep. There's a Dungeons and Dragons kids club. There's an adult club. They meet once every first Tuesday.
Where do they have these clubs?
This one is at the main branch.
I mean, they have to, in a sense of, there's so much information online.
Yeah,
people don't have to go get books at the library anymore, right?
So yes and no. I think they have a good online. So I just became a member. Me and my daughter, I was like, oh, we're gonna go to the library and go get we buy books anyways. But I was like, we should have library clubs, right? So upon going there, we saw the Dungeons and Dragons crocheting club. They have all these different things going on in there. They have the card gets you into other museums and other places either free or half off, all the way up in Boston even. So you can get into the New England Aquarium up to 4 tickets, 50% off because you have a card. You can get into the Boston Museum of Fine Arts, 50% off if you have the card.
Wow.
You can get into the Science Museum.
I like the Science Museum. That's fun. Yeah, that's good time to bring a kid.
You can get there, 50% off, 4 tickets. So a lot of people, if budget is tight, this card, which is free, can now give you access to the Whaling Museum, all these other places for free, on top of half off at the really expensive ones. Because you have a library card. Yep.
Yeah, that is.
And they have meeting rooms too. So if you have a meeting that you want to hold for free, you go to the library, you sign up for a time, and show up at that time. They'll open it up for you, and you can have a meeting in a nice little room at the library that's quiet, and you can hold a meeting.
You have to rent it? It's free?
No, it's free. I did it the other day with my friend Lamont. We went there to go research something real quick, and my daughter was with us, and we got the whole room for free, and you get it for 2 hours. So it's not even like you're in. You only have 30 minutes. You have 2 hours. You can have a pretty good meeting for 2 hours. So I really like that. The other thing that I thought was really cool is that there's a small business fair happening on January 27th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's at Holy Name of the Sacred Heart of Jesus Parish,
Mm-hmm.
121 Mount Pleasant Street. And for me, I love supporting small businesses, even if that's just spreading the word. Like, even if I don't find anything that I can buy,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very big on not buying things I don't need.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can support other ways, I will. I don't know exactly what businesses will be there because there was very limited information. It was like a Facebook ad and it said I had all that, but it didn't say like what vendors.
What vendors?
But I'm assuming that anybody with a small business that could get in there will probably be there. It's, you know, most small businesses need the help right now.
Yeah.
It's a ruthless.
Who's putting this on? Do you know?
It's the church.
The church.
Yeah, the Holy Name of Sacred Heart of Jesus Parish.
Okay.
Very long name.
Mm-hmm.
But 121 Mount Pleasant Street, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., January 27th.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I have for in the know is the event. So Kid Zone is at New Bedford Art Museum every Sunday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. It appears that a family can go for just $5.
Wow.
A family.
Where is that?
So that you know what? This is the one thing I didn't write it's down here, downtown, I
Downtown.
believe. But it's New Bedford Art Museum. Apparently, I did not know we had an art museum. It's on Pleasant?
It's on Pleasant, right in the corner of on where the city hall is. Got City Hall.
Yeah.
And diagonally across.
Oh.
That's the art museum.
So we have an art museum.
Yep.
I didn't know that. Like, I don't travel down this way too often just because, again, I hate seeing what we saw today.
Yeah.
So I try to stay away from depressing things.
Yeah.
But if you go to newbedfordart.org, you can look at their entire webpage, look at the events, buy tickets to events ahead of time. So you definitely get in. They have a whole event calendar. If you want to bring your kids to Kids Zone, if you go to the event calendar, you go to things to do at the top of the tabs, it will hit event calendar, look at next Sunday. It's like the first thing that pops up.
Mm-hmm.
And you click on the little ad for it and it will bring you to the tickets page. The other thing I will say, I love art. So here's for the artist. There is an art competition at the art museum. You can win. First place can win $1,000.
Wow.
Second place wins $2,000. To enter, you can do 5 pieces for $40. And it's about transition.
You can enter 5 pieces for $40.
5 pieces for $40. You can enter one. It's going to be the same price apparently, but you can enter up to 5 pieces for a chance. It has to, you have to be able to hang it. So it doesn't have to be in a frame. It just has to be able to be hung, magnets, whatever. And it's about transition. And it has to be made primarily of paper.
Ooh, there's rules to it.
Yes.
Any
which I thought was very, very cool.
Oh, okay.
And I know that the New Bedford, I know it doesn't look like it when you come to this little city of ours, but we do have a lot of artists.
Yeah, we do.
We have a lot of artists, and I think that if you're an artist, let's be real, most people are struggling artists.
Mm-hmm.
These type of things can get you money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're already creating art.
Yeah.
Might as well submit your stuff and try to get paid for it and get recognized.
Yeah.
Listen, I went to the Boston Museum of Fine Arts.
Yeah.
There was a wing for a new guy. I'm just going to say, if I knew my daughter's paintings from when she was 2 could be hung up on a wall in the Boston Museum of Fine Arts, I would have saved all of them. I'm not being mean.
Yeah.
I know art is subjective.
Subjective, yeah.
Listen,
but it's something that you feel like your daughter can make.
Listen.
Yeah.
It was, I'm going to be very honest and real, pathetic. No, I'm not being mean. You go from a room where painters had real artistic ability, right? And you're looking at these famous paintings and you're like, how does that look like a picture?
Yeah.
How do you paint something that looks so real? And then you walk into this gentleman's exhibit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can paint better than this.
What kind of painting was it? Of something, or
it was literally one of the paintings.
Yeah.
I mean, literally. Oh my god! It was all black with a little dot of yellow.
That's it.
And a little swipe of yellow.
So what did you see?
It was called like Nowhere.
Yeah.
I was like,
I feel it.
No, and I said, and I said out loud, and I think I'm so rude. I was like, nowhere. I'd rather be anywhere than looking at nowhere. And everybody behind me, you heard little chuckles. You heard little chuckles because everybody was thinking what I was thinking. There was no vision.
You didn't see it.
A 2-year-old could have painted what this man painted.
You didn't see it.
I'm gonna go back, and if that man's exhibit's there, I'm gonna take pictures and we're gonna put them up.
Yeah,
right
we gotta
here.
see it.
Put them up right here.
You got to. You got visualize.
I wish that this was. Listen, I wish this was the pictures that were up when the man asked you, "What do you see?" Because I'm telling you right now, you would have been like, nothing. There's nothing that I see.
And he was like, and he'll probably turn to, yes. Do you see the stroke of the brush, the artist did the yellow, and how it's not a normal dot, it's the way he came. And do you see like the hole is there's a corner. It tells a story.
No, it was when I think whoever the curator was that was like, I'm discovering the next guy, the next Van Gogh, missed the mark. Like, whoever this curator was, and you know what? I'm a member, so I actually can take classes with curators. I purposely am going to now make it my mission to find out what curator this was, and I'm going to be like, what made you think that was a good exhibit? Because I'm not seeing it, ma'am.
Oh, that's so funny. I would have played the role like, well, I see the stroke of the brush as he comes with the line in the dark. You could see I see what he was trying to do.
It was literally the most unimaginative artwork I've ever seen in my life. It was like, he literally was like, I'm going to get some sucker to be like, this is so, like, it was just like, who found you and why did they let you have an exhibit?
Oh, man.
Hey, you need this?
That was and I can't even speak right now.
Sorry.
Oh, that's funny. Like, I love Jasmine. Jasmine is no filter. She'll tell it like it is. She's like, I see nothing. It's almost funny. Like, it's like yeah, like a little kid. A little kid can't lie, right? I'll tell you a story of my cousin. She's grown now, but when she was smaller, right? So she's small, right? So she sees her grandmother, and the grandma said, give me a hug, and the grandmother had like that grandmother smell, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the kid goes, so my cousin goes, you stink.
That's my face says it all. Even if I don't say something, like I'm like,
I don't know why that reminded me of that story when you said, I see nothing, and I could see her face.
I said it out loud, like I just couldn't help it. I felt like everybody else is seeing this and they're thinking it, so somebody just say it.
Oh, that's so funny. I want to take another music break and get back to the final thoughts because that was great into the Jazz. Thank you.
Good job.
We talk about like supporting businesses and small businesses and black businesses. There's some good black movies out that we need to support, like The Color Purple. I mean, that I remember watching The Color Purple with my mother, the original.
Yeah.
He goes, I love me some Hoppo. You told him to beat me. I love me, but I kill him dead. And he put hands on me.
I'm gonna have to watch the movie.
Oprah Winfrey, that was
Oprah Winfrey?
That was Oprah Winfrey's character. She played Silly. Was it Silly?
I thought it was.
She goes, you told Hoppo to beat me.
Tyler Perry had said it in one of his shows too.
Yeah. But it was from The Color Purple.
Yeah.
Oh, you told Hoppo to beat me. I'll kill him dead. He put your hands on me.
I thought, isn't Whoopi in? Yeah, I'm thinking of the right movie, right?
Whoopi Goldberg with the star. Yeah.
She's the sister who has like some mental challenge.
Yeah. But
okay, all right.
Oprah Winfrey was with Hoppo. She was she was aggressive to her husband Hoppo.
Yeah, but I don't know.
And then
why.
Whoopi told
the only one that I ever remember in that.
Oh, that's so funny.
I don't know why.
Oh no, Oprah Winfrey was in that. Yeah. You told Hoppo to beat me. That's that one you sure is ugly.
You're such a jerk. Oh my god!
Yo, you gotta watch it.
I gotta watch the original again before I watch the new one.
Yeah.
I like critiquing like movies when they make remakes. I like going back and being like, "Oh God, why did you do that?"
Yeah,
or like, "Oh, that was even better."
Better, yeah.
So there's
Usually
one out
it's
now?
never better.
Yeah, but this one is a musical.
Yeah.
It's a musical with Fantasia's in it. It's a good cast.
Yeah.
Poor Fantasia, didn't they make her the ugly sister?
Oh yeah, she was the ugly one. She's the star. But it was a good movie. And then we have there's another movie that's executive produced by Jay-Z called The Book of Clarence. It's more of a biblical a movie that it might be interesting to watch. I'm interested to watch it. Because it's a good story. But just support these black movies so we can, get more of them in the theaters, because if they don't sell, they're not going to make them anymore. Oh, Bob Marley, that movie.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Who's making that one though?
Right?
Is it a black producer or?
I'm not even sure.
I'm not. I hope I don't ruffle no one's feathers, but I do not like when other races or whatever you want to say, ethnicities. Like I think it should be a Jamaican, not black. I think it should be a Jamaican producer, because a lot of Bob Marley's lifestyle is very deeply rooted in that Rastafari Jamaican.
Well,
like
I
life.
hope that the family is very involved in
that too.
Yeah,
that
I-
too.
Because they have to sign off on it.
Yeah, no, I hope that. I don't like when other cultures, and
I get it.
even if it was an African American producer, I would probably have a problem with it, because you don't know that lifestyle to portray it in the right light.
True. Yeah, you're right. So we're gonna take a music break. We'll come back with the final thoughts and our vibration for the next frequency. Y'all listen to the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. Again, download the WMB1 Radio app, or you can listen on WMB1.com and get other information about WMB1 on that website. I'm going to play some Donnell Jones.
Ooh.
I love Donnell Jones. See, this is the R&B that they don't make anymore. Y'all listen to the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. We'll be right back after this music break. This is Donnell Jones, This Love. Yes, we are back. We are back. Y'all listen to the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. That was Donnell Jones featuring Berto Cotta.
You're so stupid.
um, hold on. I got to get my hold on.
Regroup.
Oh, I got to regroup. Wait a minute. I just closed something.
You're gonna have to do a song.
You're a hot mess today.
I think I just messed up this thing. I got hold on.
Is this the end? I gotta know. I gotta know. I gotta know. Is this the end?
Yes, it's the end of the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. And I just got to say, Mama told me one day it was going to happen. Wish I would have told me when. She told me it
I
would
wish you would warn
happen
us
when
before
there
you start
was much
singing.
older. Wish it would have happened then.
Can I sing next week?
What are you going to say, man?
All right, you're gonna have to do this karaoke.
Yeah.
Karaoke style next time at the house.
And that's Frequency Live. We're doing it all singing. Yo, show up. Be prepared.
Be ready.
All right, guys. It was a great show. Great show.
Good show.
What's our final thoughts and our vibrational? What's our vibration to the next frequency?
Ooh.
Ooh, that's tough, right? It's a tough question.
I want to say collectiveness, whether that means you're more collected in your own head, mind, spirit, together as a group, just overall being collected, being well put together. I'm working on that. And that's not a New Year's resolution.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to make life changes.
For me, I'm going to take the word going forward, compassion.
Compassion.
Seeing that dude out there today in the cold and having these last two shows about the civil rights, makes me want to have more compassion. I probably still didn't realize like it was like one generation ago.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the crazy stuff that happened, burning of, churches full of people was one generation ago. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, not that I had like my head in the sand, but when I was starting to like read and like look stuff up, it was like, damn, like, this is when I was a child, probably in school reading it, it seemed like such a long time ago.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, 1950 seemed like, 300 years ago, but now that you're an adult, you realize like that was like not too long ago. You know what I mean? So I'm going with compassion.
All right. Mine is appreciation. I always try to, like, even when I talk to you guys or I tell you guys how much I appreciate you guys and the efforts that you put in. And I want to continue have more appreciation, even for appreciation for myself. Appreciation of what my efforts and what I'm trying to be and where I'm trying to go. And I want to have the heavy appreciation of the people around my life. And I try to tell those people how much, let them know that I appreciate them. So even from now to the next Frequency Live show beyond, I'm going to try to, I'm going to appreciate the people around me and appreciate myself and the efforts where I'm trying to be. I'm not perfect. I'm imperfect. But the effort is there. And I want people to appreciate my effort as well as I appreciate their effort. So that is my vibration to the next frequency. Edmund, what is your vibration?
Edmund.
Come on now, speak up, man. You got a mic in front of you.
Silence is his vibration.
Silence. Silence.
Silence.
All right.
Actually, church talked about that today.
Silence. The art of listening.
No,
right.
Sometimes just being
Just be still.
okay.
Just be still.
Be still.
Feng
Wait for the
shui.
word to come to you. Edmund's waiting for the word to come to him.
Yeah.
We appreciate Edmund behind the scenes.
We appreciate Edmund, our program director out there, and everything he does. I want to thank you. All right, so we will be back not next Sunday because Sunday is our day. Next Sunday is our day off, but we'll be back. What's the day? The 3rd is the
Yeah, I'll be in Florida.
You'll be in Florida, so we'll be here with Joe and Jasmine, the 3rd. But next week is my birthday.
Next Sunday?
Next Saturday is my birthday. I'll be 26.
Okay.
The big 2-6.
Sure, we'll go along with that.
All right. This is
Whatever you say.
but it's my birthday Saturday, so
That's unbelievable.
holla at your boy. You know, Cash App, $. Be
Wow. Real bold.
But so we'll be taking next week off, and then we'll be back the following Sunday for an all new show of Frequency Live. I want to thank all our listeners. Don't forget, and all our watchers, don't forget to download the WNB1 radio app and log on to WNB1.com. There is a comedy show. Is a comedy show?
I want to say it's the 11th.
It's the 11th.
I think
No. It's not the 11th.
18th.
The Friday before. So you're looking at the 9th.
9th. I'm sorry, 9th.
Yeah, February 9th. WNB1 Radio is putting on their annual First Fridays comedy show at the Whaler Inn. I'm correct, on Hathaway Road, 500 Hathaway Road in New Bedford, Massachusetts. Go check it out. It'll be a good show. I think I'm going to try to make it to that particular show. So I want to thank everyone. Thank you guys. Thank all the listeners and watching this. And I want to say a good night. You are listening to the Frequency Live on WNB1 Radio. I'm going to end it with Rough Ends, Someone to Love, because we want to spread love on the Frequency Live.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.